character.
Yep, and they gave Samus a boob reduction, and they gave Snake a butt reduction.
And they gave Waluigi a complete reduction. He's not in it.
Was that fun or what?
What?
Now back to our show.
So now we get into E3 abridged.
Yep. This is quite possibly. I was a little disappointed that they didn't do the post-show stream like they did last year, because that was a bit of an acid trip in and of itself, with John Morrison and Shad Gaspar showing up, and the kind of drugged out drunk host.
Yeah.
You know, are we on for Live? I'm gonna say we're Live now.
And before a week before E3, Devolver Digital actually tweeted, "Everyone must see RoboCop before E3."
And they say we're sorry in advance for their press conference. But
now let's talk Devolver Digital and
Sunday night.
Yeah. Let's all take a moment to rejoice in the glory that is waifu Nina Struthers.
That's cool.
Yeah, someone I know on Twitter, who's also on Twitch, her name's Voxandra, kept calling her mommy through the whole thing. and she was like overjoyed when she found out the actress playing Nina is gay.
I mean, like, their press quote unquote press conference is basically the perfect parody of just these E3 press conferences. I mean, like last year, I loved how they made fun of, you know, alpha, like paying to play alpha versions of games, you know, and like, we will literally take the ideas of games right out of your head and make them. So you can stick your hand through the screen and give us your money directly. And then the guy loses his arm. And I mean, like, it was just, and the whole him losing his arm thing just brought me back to, like, Monty Python's salad days. You know? and silly and stupid and like, freaking at the end with the nose bleeding and everything, with how, like, intense and freaked out she gets. Like, and the whole time I'm going, This my Adult Swim? Like, did they? Like, I'm getting a Too Many Cooks meets Eric Andre vibe going on right now. Did Tim and Eric?
This was actually hilarious. Nina was awesome. The crowd was magic.
Some of the crowd was the same crowd from last year.
Nice.
What
did everything of Nina? Because I'm in love with Nina right now.
She is fucking phenomenal, and I already wish it was E3 next year. Like, I kind of wish I could just get into a time machine and just see Devolver's, you know, for everybody else. Like, I'm a big Nintendo fan, and I enjoy Sony and shit like that. And I was just like, no, I want to see Devolver. I want to know what the fuck they're publishing. I want to see their weird shit. I fucking love Duck Game. You know, like...
My friends love Duck Game.
Oh, that's all I kept hearing this week from everyone. Duck Game, Duck Game, Duck Game.
So, we play that on MVG Live thanks to me buying it in a midweek madness on Steam. And, yeah, Duck Game is bloody... Wow. And I'm still holding out for a Switch port. But Devolver... Nina was so powerful, she kind of overshadowed the games to a degree.
Yeah, first she brings out Scum, a battleground game that is basically a battle royale farce.
Yeah, now I remember. And then I remember this one because this is something one of my friends posted on Facebook months ago, and I am absolutely in love with it. I can't tell if it's a platform shooter or if it's going to be a Metroidvania style game in the style of Shadow Complex. But it's My Friend Pedro.
Yes.
A story of revenge and bananas or something like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Metroidvania-ish John Woo shoot 'em up.
With bananas?
Well, I mean, I guess that has to do.
Bananas.
But I mean, it was fucking like it's fucking beautiful. It's just bullet time and shooting to the left and right of you at the same time, and like all this crazy crap going on, and like it just looks fun as all fuck.
Yes. And then we cut back to Nina, who has one of the greatest announcements ever: loot box coin.
Yes.
Oh, I want to hear about this.
It exists. It actually exists. It updates every hour.
Yes. It was magnificent.
Oh my god, like, and the physical one that has, like, no value and doesn't, the disclaimer says, actual loot box coin will look nothing like this. Oh my god, like, that one right there was just the biggest kick in the nuts to the biggest fad in gaming, on the business end, and the biggest fad in computing right now. Like, oh my fucking god. Loot box coin. And then, of course, their final little announcement. From Software, the Dark Souls guys, a game from 1996 is getting a remaster, and I can't remember the name. I just remember the slow.
Chaos.
Of course, with a beautiful name like that, and the
Greatest tagline. Say it.
This triggered so many people.
They didn't. They didn't get the joke.
Make America Great Again.
Oh my god.
So many people were ass-pained. It was beautiful. It's just like...
And someone I know basically said, well, you see, people are mad about that because blah, blah. And I my immediate response to him was the Joker line from Batman Animated Series. If you have to explain the joke, there is no joke.
Then there is no joke.
In my immediate response is actually a gif of Rainier Wolfcastle. That's the joke.
That's the joke.
Yeah. You suck, McMahon.
So, yeah, no, I mean, Devolver, of course, always steals the show. Again, disappointed that they didn't do their bizarre-ass post-show stream, because they showed off a bunch of adult games, because they co-published those, and they also publish indie films and stuff like that. They had a movie trailer last year for a Doug the Bounty Hunter parody starring John Morrison. And then John Morrison shows up as the character, interfering with the pre-show. Like, it had some sort of really convoluted, stupid name, like the first ever pre-show or something.
That's right, I remember that. That's right.
And then Shad Gaspar from Crime Time from WWE shows up too, and he kicks the host out of his chair. He's like, "This is my show now." And then every so often there would be like static, and Dr. Cube would show up, and they'd cut to Kaiju Big Battle, filmed from Boston, like a few months prior. And I'm like, this is I was up till 4:00 in the morning watching that. And that's the only thing I regret, is that they didn't have the bizarre post-show thing where they got to show off more games, talk to the developers, even though it was just inane rambling.
Yeah.
And, but just even the weird shit, like John Morrison showing up. Like, I fucking loved that last year. I stayed up till 4 in the morning. I'm bummed they didn't do it this year, but Devolver stole the show like they did last year. And so, God bless them. And I don't use the G word very often, but damn,
yeah.
That is some holy shit right there.
But the Devolver conference ends in basically the exact same way as RoboCop.
Yep.
With Nina getting shot up to hell, and it says to be continued next year.
Yep. They referred to it. They referred to it in their tweet about it as a continuation of the Devolver Digital Press Conference Cinematic Universe.
Oh my god.
They said, like, watch the previous press conference and look for callbacks to the original, which, of course, the person who shoots her up is the dude who loses his arm trying to get the money through the computer screen. Out for revenge and looking like Snake Plissken for some odd reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no. Like I said, the holy shit comment, that pun, like, yeah, Devolver just fucking... They closed out Monday with a bang. Like,
Yeah.
we had 3 freaking good ones. We had Microsoft, we had Bethesda, and we had Devolver. Oh my god, like, Monday, as we go into Monday...
Yeah, now we get into the fan-isms. We go into Square Enix.
Ow! Oh, Square Enix hasn't done one in like fucking 5 years or something like that, and this one was even just as painful as the one that they did back then. Well, not as awkward because it wasn't live, thank God.
And we're done with Square Enix.
Yeah,
That was short and sweet. What do you think?
I'm fine. I'm fine with that one. I'm fine with that one.
Quick little bullet notes here. They were only a half hour long.
Yep.
They did Nintendo Direct style. Richard Epcar narrated the damn presentation, which I think was badass. They showed Shadow of the Tomb Raider again.
Yep. Let's see.
They showed off Final Fantasy.
Yep. Hold on, Jace. Hold on. Tomb Raider from Eidos Montreal, makers of Deus Ex and Crystal Dynamics. The only thing new is they showed that you can coat yourself in mud like you're Arnold from The Predator.
Yeah, and Lara is apparently a cross between Katniss Everdeen and the chick from Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep.
We should just start calling her Lara Snake at this point. The fighting was so pre-produced, it looked like a series of QuickTime events, which is why I hate watching gameplay trailers at E3. But it does seem kind of similar to Breath of the Wild because everybody has to beat Breath of the Wild, apparently, since Nintendo did that. Then we get to Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood.
Which is a patch.
They mention Under the Moonlight is the next big event. Bangaa from the Tactics sub-series seem to be appearing in it now, which I think is really cool. And they're going to do a crossover this year with Monster Hunter World. Then we got Amazing...
shit.
I love Monster. I love that game.
Good stuff.
I got into Monster Hunter because of my boyfriend, so there's that.
Same!
Oh! Whoa! Are you
He
excited?
got me the one for the 3DS. Yes, I'm very excited. I want to catch up on World.
He played on the 3DS. I played on the Wii U. So we had that. Yeah, that was great. Sorry.
So no, the learning curve is such a turnoff for me with that game. Like I still can't figure out how to play it.
Monster Hunter World. It takes a while. I just started figuring out how to use the charge weapons.
But instead of talking about Capcom, just running down the bullet points, we get our first look at the English dub of Dragon Quest XI, and then they announce a crossover for the mobile game Brave Exvius with Dragon Quest. It's the second time they've done it. And now they cut to a very brief teaser that shows absolutely nothing of a new game from Platinum Games for PS4 and PC, Babylon's Fall, scheduled for 2019. Then we got Nier again. Then we got Octopath Traveler, which of course they reiterate July 13th. I'm hyped for it. Although I'm afraid because they're saying if you're including all the side quest content and stuff like that, you have 100 hours of gameplay. And I'm going, oh no, motherfuckers! I've got a backlog of like 5 games now. Sentinel, Lost Sphere, Golf Story, like Battleship Brigade. I've got such a fucking backlog now. And I put 125 hours into Breath of the Wild and 160 plus into Fire Emblem Warriors, and I still haven't finished all the DLC.
I have 12 games on my backlog.
Oh no, my backlog. I'm going to start streaming on Twitch again, and I'm just going to be streaming my backlog, and my backlog freaking spans several consoles. It's bad. But then we get Just Cause 4 again. They run down the extreme weather. They say enemies are smarter. Basically, the Breath of the Wild. All enemies have different intelligences and fight differently. It's a new game engine, the Apex engine. Yeah. And then they give us a teaser for The Quiet Man,
which is the only game they previewed, which I want. It looks amazing, and I want to know more.
The premise is basically you're a deaf guy, and it's a 3D beat 'em up, and I'm just like, fuck yeah, tell me more about it.
Yeah, I've actually watched this video multiple times. It starts out as a live action trailer. A dude is walking up an alley. He meets some tough dudes who are threatening him. He points to his ears, motioning he's deaf. And then all of a sudden, sound goes out, and all you hear is a loud ring. He puts the lunch bag down, and as the camera pans up, it goes from live action to CG, and he just begins kicking butt. And then it just says more information in August, and it's expected to be played in one sitting. And I'm perfectly fine with that.
I am actually really excited with a lot of these games that are doing things like where they're deaf or they're blind. Like there's a game you can play on mobile where you're blind and you have to navigate to escape using only sound. And it was a lot of fun. It was really short, but it was really great. You heard raindrops, you could hear your footsteps, you could hear music going, fire, the doors opening. It was great. It would probably be really good for something that had vibration controls, so that way you can tell when you hit something or things like that. It would be really, really cool. But I really like the way that they're branching out into things like that. Yep. And I'm kind of looking forward to that game.
And then we go into more info. Did you have something on that, Deej?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I'm good.
Then we get actually no. It was pretty much the same trailer we saw at Microsoft, except we get a little bit of Pirates of the Caribbean world in Kingdom Hearts 3, which basically is just Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yep.
And so,
except with
Keira Knightley in a video game makes me want it.
Keira Knightley.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people saying that. I actually shared to you guys another trailer that has it has Wreck-It Ralph in it, as well as Ratatouille.
That made me so happy, because Ratatouille, when I first saw the trailers, Ratatouille is my favorite of all the Pixar movies, so that made me smile.
I do love that movie. We've watched that several times ourselves.
Given the fact that Nomura's not,
I have a giant Remy plushie right in front of me in my office. That's how much I love the movie.
Nomura's not a game designer. He is not a scenario writer. He is a character designer first and foremost, and he's been producing this series from day one. Fun fact, the reason why you don't see any characters from the older Final Fantasy games, or from Final Fantasy IX aside from Vivi, is basically Kingdom Hearts is his way of jerking himself off for his Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, of course.
The only character prior to 7 that's in the game is Setzer, the gambler from 6, and that's because he designed Setzer.
Of course.
So basically, that little fun tidbit. But I mean, personally, the plot line between all the spin-offs and all this other stuff has gotten so convoluted, and it's because Nomura's not a story writer. He's an artist. He draws characters. That's it.
You know what?
There's a YouTube video I watched where someone actually tried to make the entire story. They tried to display the entire story of Kingdom Hearts, and I've played almost every single one game in the franchise, and I still don't know what the hell's going on.
Nope.
Yeah.
I like the way they do it. It resonates with me, the way they do it. I mean, I guess maybe it's because I also, am rather artsy, and the way they do the stories and everything really, really, speaks to me. And I do have to say I'm super excited because Tangled is in this, and that's, probably my favorite Disney movie so far.
I'm excited because of Wreck-It Ralph, even though I haven't seen the movie. I just love Like,
Bro.
no, I really hope.
Bro.
Bro.
You gotta go see
Bruh.
it.
There are a lot of movies I haven't
Sorry.
seen from Disney recent stuff, and Wreck-It Ralph is one of the ones that I've been wanting to see and still haven't gotten around to seeing. I mean, like, every
Right.
Kingdom Hearts has had something that's kind of drawn me to it, or at least the mainline series, because I stopped caring about the spin-offs after motherfucking Chain of Memories.
Jace. Every spin-off for Kingdom Hearts 2 is basically Malibu Stacy with a new hat.
Oh my
So,
god.
Kingdom. Oh yeah, like Kingdom Hearts Recoded.
yeah.
We don't talk about record.
they all spent really stupid names too, like 358 by something days, and like the names got more and more convoluted too.
I played all of them except for the one with like Aqua and what Ben and
Oh,
them.
Birth by Sleep.
Oh,
really
Birth by
good.
Sleep. That one's fun.
No,
it's
wait.
pretty fun.
Maybe
Marty,
maybe
the
I did.
fragmentary passage.
No, yeah, I didn't play Birth by Sleep. I didn't. I don't
never
think-
I never completed the one that came on 3DS. Dream by Sleep. I hated that stupid. You would be fighting a bad guy and go, oh, Sora goes to sleep, and now you're transferring to Riku.
Take an act.
I hated that. I hated it so much.
That's
Play with
about
a friend,
bad
that's what I
as
did.
that's
Play
about as
Master.
bad as freaking Chain of Memories. Fuck Marluxia. When I saw Marluxia in fucking the trailer for the Kingdom Hearts 3, I was like, what the fuck is that asshole doing alive?
I can picture you.
Well,
literally just
apparently, someone
hitting him
explained
and
to me
flipping
that
your
if
table.
you kill someone's heartless and then a nobody in the exact order, then you can somehow come back to life. Because I was asking, how the hell did the Organization 13 members come back?
Tom 64 of Hellfire Comms actually retweeted that, and he gave an answer. I'm trying to find it now. If a person's heartless and nobody is defeated in that order, their original becomes basic.
And all I can think of
back.
is
Sorry.
this whole like heartless and nobody, and I'm going like, is this Bleach? I'm so fucking confused.
Well, I mean, I think Heartless is supposed to be your body, and then the nobody is your soul. It's not
That's-
technically you, but it's a piece of you. And
I
then,
thought it
of
was
course-
I thought it was supposed to be like your heart or something,
No,
like
'cause
the
the nobodies
heart
are
next to darkness or something.
I don't know if anybody remembers this, but technically, Square Enix holds the rights to make Marvel games.
Right now, and you get all like.
So
Wow.
everybody keeps chomping at the bit, trying to say that Marvel will make an appearance in Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, don't count on it. It's not Disney.
Okay, that was Square, and that was everything they did. The only thing that was missing was, hey, remember when they announced last year Final Fantasy VII Remake? No? Okay.
yeah.
That one's in development
In 4K.
hell. That one's going through more crap than like Solo and Star Wars Episode 9 went through. Like, it's going through development hell. I mean, they fired CyberConnect, who was working on the game because they thought it was utter garbage.
They fire an entire development team because like they didn't think they could make the game the way they want it.
Season pass, you get all the DLC.
You know, and as a result, like, still hiring people trying to make this game desperately. And of course, I feel like it also has to do with the fact that Tetsuya Nomura is also one of the head guys working on Final Fantasy VII, and he's been so fucking stuck in Kingdom Hearts 3 because he's like, oh my god, I finally have to fucking finish this. Hence why, after, earlier in the year going, 2018, definitely, they show the trailer and go, January 2019. So, Rick, what do you keep saying about Kingdom Hearts 3?
No, you mean Final Fantasy VII. I guess you'll never see Aerith die in 4K.
True. What you said about Kingdom Hearts 3?
Oh, what the
There's
the in order to beat the game, you have to explain the entire series to your dad without filling up your game meter or something.
No, the one about Kingdom Hearts being the your favorite fan comic.
Your favorite fanfic?
Oh yeah, you Kingdom Hearts 3 is that one fanfic from 2008 that the author never finishes because he has a post-it note that says, "Sorry guys, I've been busy with school."
You know, one thing that I meant to mention when you guys were talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake, I was kind of dreading that one because, you know, once they start dipping into remaking the old Final Fantasies, you know that they're kind of at the end of their rope. It seems like they don't know what to do if they're remaking like a game that everyone's really wanted.
They haven't known what the fuck they're doing for a while. I mean, like, Final Fantasy 15 spent years in development hell as Final Fantasy 13 Versus. Final Fantasy Type 0 originally was 13 Agito and never came to the United States because it was on 2 UMDs and the Vita was pretty much, or the PSP was pretty much dead in the States, you know, and, I mean, like, the franchise has gone through hell ever since Sakaguchi left during the production of Final Fantasy X. And that was when everybody generally who was involved in the series left because Uematsu left during 10 and only composed select tracks for 11 and 14 after that. Abano only stayed on as the logo designer. He stopped doing concept art and all that other stuff. And of course, the series creator slash executive producer, Hironobu Sakaguchi, left the company as well. And so when those three guys left, Final Fantasy was left without a vision, without anything. Like, so 12, they take a step into the Tactics universe, and they're like, okay, that works. You know, and then they do 13, and it's, oh my god. That's just...
Can we not talk about 13?
Okay, so here we go. Next one. This one slid under the radar for most people. It was exclusively on the company's Twitch stream, and it was Limited Run Games. These guys make limited physical copies of indie titles for all the systems. And I love the stuff that they do because the whole concept is, you know, what if either, one, you want it as a collector's item, or two, you just don't want to have it downloaded on your system and taking up space, you know, and then having to delete it and then having to reinstall. You know, huge pain in the ass. They had quite possibly the weirdest presentation of them all because, like, weirder than Devolver, because Devolver, we knew what we were going to see. They had this weird 3D animated, like, circa 1995 auditorium with, like, cardboard cutout looking people, and like the developers themselves, like the people working for the company, would come out and they'd pantomime walking, and like you could tell they were in front of a green screen, and they were two-dimensional for some reason, and they'd cut to the crowd and nobody would be moving aside from like a lone person in the crowd each time. It was a random employee every time, and like it was fucking bizarre, you know. Like, I'm like,
the only thing I could think of was the car racing games. Like, did they develop like those car games? That's all I can think of is those arcade games.
I think it might have been a throwback reference because then on top of it all, they also played really cheap MIDI versions of popular songs or recognizable songs. Probably those people's favorite song. Like one was Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme. Another one was like Take On Me. It was fucking weird, but let's get down to the indie games, and you know, if you know the game, you know, we can say a little brief something about it. First one, Golf Story on the Switch, getting a physical release in September.
Nope.
I played Golf Story. You know, I mean, at first you think it's going to be a golf game, but this is Adult Swim Games we're talking about here. This is actually an RPG that's also a golf game, and the humor is top-notch in it. I absolutely love it.
So it's like Hot Shots Golf.
Kind of, sort of, except with, like, the old 16-bit aesthetic. Then we move on to Iconoclasts, which was developed entirely by one person. Wow. That's on the PS4. The creator is looking to port it to the Switch. Which I hope, because the game is absolutely amazing. But yeah, PS4, Iconoclast. Observer, which you guys saw a little bit of when I gave you a little bit of how their conference was, hitting July. Layers of Fear.
I'm down. I'm getting hurt.
I can talk about that one. Layers of Fear was a lot of fun. You do have a lot of like avenues that you can do. It's you don't even think while you're playing it that there is like other endings to it, like there could be. And when we got to the end, we actually looked up because it seemed like there were like 2 different ways you could go, and it was like these are all your endings, and we're like, whoa. So it has replay value, but you know, of course you have to wait because it's a scary game, so you don't want to, not be scared during another playthrough. But I definitely want to get a physical copy of that. Like that would be a game that I would definitely get a physical copy of.
Well, that's hitting in October. Then Thumper, which is PS4 and Switch, that comes out on July 20th. This one was really cool. I don't know if it's out digitally yet. I wouldn't mind getting a physical copy just because of the artwork. The House in Fata Morgana, which is for PlayStation 4 and Vita, coming out first quarter next year. It is a dark gothic anime visual novel.
Ooh.
And, like the artwork was just really cool.
All relevant to my interests.
Same.
I had my eye on that specifically for my other blogcast that me and Beth are doing. And are they only coming out physically for those 2 systems?
Just those 2 systems, because that's what it's available on. That's what Limited Run publishes on, is Vita, Switch, and PlayStation 4.
All right, I'll probably have to get it for the Switch. I'm hoping that, I can grab that physical copy.
Right now it's not actually announced for the Switch. It's on Vita and PS4.
Oh.
Do you know how
Darn
to
it.
counterattacks?
Okay, so I'll have to wait on that one, because the artwork looks fantabulous for that one, like, seriously.
So, next, they go into a PlayStation Vita showcase of several games. We get 2064 Read-Only Memories, with Cyberpunk game, followed by another Cyberpunk game. I'm sensing a trend now with what's popular in gaming.
Yeah.
Valhalla, spelled VA11HALL-A, Cyberpunk Bartender Action.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
This one.
That game is
that one when it
amazing.
came out.
Yes.
Sorry.
We might do a let's play of that.
That's getting limited physical release on the PlayStation Vita, coming out. Both of those games are coming out June 29th.
Is that one coming out with the soundtrack with it? Because when you pre-registered for it, you got the soundtrack free.
I don't think so, only because they published the games themselves physically.
That's true.
And then the last one in that showcase was Senran Kagura Bon Appetit Full Force. Summer 2018.
I love that series.
Tasty yet totally tasteless was the tagline for it. So then they moved on to a Switch showcase, starting with a Link Between Worlds / Wind Waker copycat Oceanhorn, which that actually came out June 11th. You could order that from them. Followed by Cosmic Star Heroine, which was a game I wanted on Steam. It's coming to Switch. I was like, yes! Night Trap, the infamous Sega CD game, Night Trap, finally seeing a Nintendo release.
I can't wait to actually try it out. I always wanted to play it.
A buddy of mine owns 2 copies of it.
2 copies, damn.
Of the original PC game. One
Wow.
wrapped, the other he's played.
Wow.
He finds it at flea markets.
And of course, the best announcement in the Switch showcase, this one I'm definitely picking up, Yooka-Laylee, coming out in August.
I heard very mixed things about it. Some people told me it's okay, others told me it's like very mediocre.
I want it for the nostalgia factor, but everybody knows that the game that totally eclipsed it was A Hat in Time.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's a game I want to play badly.
I want to play it. I hope it comes to the Switch.
Same. I can't wait for Benny and the Ink Machine to come to Switch.
Then we get a PlayStation 4 / Vita showcase. These are hitting both systems. Spelunky,
Oh, I
When
like that game.
I love Spelunky. I played
I
on
remember.
Steam.
I remember that game.
Exile's End. Then this next one I have on Switch. I fucking love it. It's heavily inspired by the Scott Pilgrim game, and it's called Phantom Breakers Battlegrounds Overdrive.
I saw that and I wanted it really badly. You'll have to remind me of it so I can favorite it.
Beating the shit out of like otaku businessmen and gangaros as you go through these, and it's fucking hard as hell because it's also like got this RPG leveling mechanic similar to Scott Pilgrim. But like if you play it on normal, you're gonna get your ass handed to you so many times that like it like you'd want to throw the controller and go like, this game sucks. It's just like, no, we realize now that you got to start, like, the game forces you to start on easy. And then Salt and Sanctuary was another one. Then they cut to the last few ones. So Dust and Elysian Tale, which was originally on the Xbox 360, is coming to the Switch, which is really cool. And then their final announcement was...
Dust is also on Steam.
Oh, it's on Steam?
I don't know.
It's on Steam. Me and my boyfriend have played it. It's pretty good. It's not too bad. It has a very like old platformer feel to it, with a little bit of like rough and tumble to it.
I don't know why.
That was something I wanted to play, and I never got around to buying it on Xbox. So definitely gonna pick it up on Switch. And the final announcement from the creators of Night Trap, and originally on the Sega CD, Double Switch 25th Anniversary Edition. Physical copy coming to PS4. They're currently trying to do a Switch version as well. So, FMV games are making a comeback, guys.
I'm okay with that. If we can get a remake of Seventh Guest, I'll be happy. Or,
there's actually a few of them on Switch right now in the eShop.
Or Mad Dog McCree.
That was limited run games in a nutshell. Their show ran about close to somewhere between 30-35 minutes. They even told people, like, if you want to keep watching us, we're going to keep talking about stuff. Otherwise, go tune into Ubisoft, because that one started, boom, 4 o'clock on the dot, right when limited run ended. So we're going straight into Ubisoft, who started the show off. Oh man, fuck! Did I accidentally?
They started off with Just Dance and the Dancers, and Sexual Harassment Panda.
Oh yeah. No, I just found accidentally deleted it. Just Dance 2019, their annual thing. Coming out in October. They did one of those follow videos, which wound up with the marching band. And for the love of God, I would have freaking pissed myself in the if the panda took off the head and it was Yves Guillemot.
Yes.
So that lost it right then and there. Would have been done. 10 out of 10. Ubisoft wins. Way better than them getting a single freaking pop star that nobody cares about to fucking show up and do something. So, way to freaking go. Nice and quick. There's your announcement. It was actually a lot of fun. I liked the direction they took with that. Next big one, Beyond Good and Evil 2, a game people have been asking for years and got revealed last year. They gave us a new cinematic trailer that was darker and actually brought back the original 2 characters, Paige and Jade, in the trailer. Except Jade appears to be a villain in this one. Some people are saying this might be a prequel to the original. Nobody knows.
That's what I thought it was. My belief was that it looked like a prequel.
Yeah.
The lucky bastards from the press who were there got to play a behind closed doors demo, and that it was currently in pre-alpha. So I mean, like, nowhere as close to them even being ready to release this.
Because they're probably still trying to work out what it is, either a prequel or a sequel.
I think it's not only that, but also trying to work the Ubisoft formula that they use in all of their games nowadays into it. Because every Ubisoft game is the same nowadays. Big open worlds, radio towers. So even The Crew 2, a racing game, same damn deal. But they announced the Space Monkey program, and here we got, I guess, a celebrity appearance. I don't know. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who owns the company Hit Record.
Yep.
And basically, it's going to allow fans to contribute art, music, content, radio sounds, whatever, into the game. It's a collaborative process, so it's cool for creative types who have been looking forward to the game to be involved.
Part of me is mixed. Part of me thinks that Ubisoft is lazy and it's just asking you to do it yourself. However, the other part of me thinks this is amazing. Let people make their game that they've been wanting to see.
Yeah. I mean, it's a 50-50 thing for me, too. I don't think it's so much lazy as more of a gigantic publicity stunt. You know, like, so, and you guys can get in on the development, too. You know, like, kind of like when South Park did the Tweak and Craig are gay episode, and they asked fans for art
All
for
of the yaoi.
Oh my god.
in the
That's
episode.
right.
That was great.
I feel like
That is probably one of my favorite episodes. I made my boyfriend pick that one specifically when we were going back through them. I thought it was way too funny, that episode.
And it's a little plot point in the Fractured Butthole game.
It is?
Yes.
That's one of the games that's on my back burner.
I've been wanting to get that on the Switch, but I still need to finish a freaking Stick of Truth. Yeah.
Because you actually go through the game collecting yaoi artwork of them.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And then
Yes, please.
And then in the end, once you get all their yaoi artwork, they make up, and then you can use their finisher move, where they hold hands and become like the Japanese version of themselves. And while that and the
the cutscene.
And Let's Fighting Now theme song is blaring, and they just wreck the field.
This is the most
God.
beautiful thing I have heard.
I need that in my life.
God damn it, this game should be playing right now.
The game is amazing, and I need to get the 3 DLC for it.
I love the stick of truth.
Oh, this is way better, and they
changed the battle system. Kind of did this like Mega Man Battle Network type thing to it, as opposed to like the previous like turn-based classic RPG thing.
Yeah, but let's get back to with Rainbow Six.
I fucking man, like if you played the freaking drinking game to every time they talked about communities in these freaking online all the time games. Oh my god, they said community more times than I could fucking count in this one. Yeah. They were like, we have 35 million players in our community, and then there's a very prominent esports community and pro league community, and then they showed a documentary about players called Another Mindset. You know, and just oh my god.
Then we get the game Trails, where some dude who's not Super Dave comes out and falls into stuff.
Yeah, I know. I was like, is this dude pretending to be Eric Andre? Like, yeah.
And the game comes out next year.
Surprising. Yeah. Also, apparently he's the Prime Minister of Finland.
Oh, wow.
They also brought out a YouTuber, Professor Fat Shady, who runs the University of Trials. The game's going to go through a closed beta, and it comes out in February. And then we get another repeat.
Yep, the Division 2. Now with 8-player raids.
First technical difficulty of E3 this year, the crane camera got caught in the shot when they were introducing it. But they showed off a cinematic trailer, 3 specialized classes, 8-player co-op raids, typical live services model. Year 1 will have 8 free episodes, and then they played a second cinematic trailer and reiterated March 15th as the release date. And this was one of my favorite ones because I love this game, and I love the fact that he does the music for the game. And so this is a nice big throwback. And this DLC doesn't even seem so much as DLC as a whole nother second game added to it. They go back to Mario and Rabbids, telling us the DK expansion goes live on the 26th with live music conducted by the composer himself, Grant Kirkhope, which was so freaking cool.
It really was.
That made me so happy.
Oh my god!
Have that man come back.
Just the fact that like in freaking just playing through the first boss fight against Rabid Kong, and the fact that fucking Minecart Carnage, I believe, was playing in the background, and I was just like, oh my fucking god! Oh, my girlfriend said what? And I'm like, it's the song. It's literally from Donkey Kong Country. It's Minecart Carnage. She's like. She doesn't like Donkey Kong, and I'm just like, it's such a, like, oh my god. But
how could you not like Donkey Kong?
Yeah, not her kind of thing, like, you know, not big.
Man. I remember playing Donkey Kong Country on my, like, Game Boy Color.
And how many was it on? Let's see. So it was Donkey Kong Land on Game Boy, but then they had Country on SNES, then on Color, and then on Advance.
Yep. And friggin' Diddy Kong Country was like my total jam right there. Or Diddy Kong Racing, rather.
Oh man.
Oh, I remember that game.
Yeah, airplanes and shit.
Talks about that.
Sorry, I keep derailing us.
Fun.
No. So yeah, then we move on to Skull and Bones with the cinematic trailer.
Yep. Which is basically that other Pirates game.
It's Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but with no Assassin's Creed.
So I'm actually into it because I did not like Black Flag at all.
We got a cinematic trailer, and they tell us it's a shared world where every player encounter matters. You get to fully customize your ship. Strategy and deception play a role, like changing your sails and stuff like that. You can call other captains who are in the area to take down strong opponents. They showed in the example a Portuguese brigadier that ships will have special abilities, and they just gave it a vague 2019.
Yeah, it's not Sid Meier's Pirates, so I don't care.
Yeah. Then we move on to
a VR game.
Well, no, they said VR and other platforms. Coming out this fall, Transference, Spectrevision, and Elijah Wood. It's an FMV game that will shift between multiple characters' point of views, which sounds a little interesting. Sounds more interesting than David Cage's work, like Detroit.
Hey, Detroit is actually a really fun game because I just beat it last night. It's a really fun game. I did not know I would love this game as much as it's a horrible story. There are way too many.
Like an hour housework at the beginning of the game or some shit, though.
Yeah, no. The first level is basically you trying to talk a jumper who's with a little girl trying to jump, trying to kill the little girl and himself, and you have to try to talk them down.
So that's funny because I could have sworn, like, I saw a review where they talked about the beginning of the game literally being like household work simulator, and
that comes after the opening credits, because first you play as the robot trying to like talk the guy down. Then it goes into because you follow 3 stories, and they all interlink at some point. And this game, whatever you choose, matters to the entire story.
Okay, well.
But now let's talk on to the next game.
So Starlink Battle for Atlas coming out October 16th. I've already pre-ordered it because I'm a consumer whore. This was a game they debuted last year, completely missing the bus on the Toys to Life genre. This is geared towards a more adult audience, as it's going to be these replica ships that spaceships where you can customize and pick and pull parts and stuff like that. And for the life of me, I don't give 2 shits about that. They announced that Nintendo's getting an exclusive version of the game with motherfucking Star Fox with a replica of the R-Wing. Arwing.
Yeah, I was
of course,
about to say, Star Fox, I think, will be, like, the biggest friggin' hook on that game.
Shigeru Miyamoto himself was in the crowd for that one for the second year in a row at Ubisoft, and they presented him with a full-scale prototype version of it for him.
Then they usher him off, and he's like, "But I want to stay for the rest of the show."
No, I mean, like, he had the biggest smile ever upon seeing it because he had mentioned when they were developing Star Fox Zero, they had this concept of making an Arwing amiibo, but they wanted to make it so that it was transformable, and they couldn't figure it out. Well, here's your Arwing amiibo, except it's not an amiibo, and you can change parts out and junk on it. So, boom, Shigeru Miyamoto's idea envisioned by Ubisoft. And they're saying that apparently it will have an open world, too. I mean, I don't care. It's going to be a good Star Fox title, in my opinion, unlike the last one. So, then we go on to For Honor. They bring For Honor back up.
Marching Fire add-on.
Oh my god! Like, I had a chance to play this game yet, and then they announced Marching Fire, and I go like, holy fucking shit, it's the Three Kingdoms! Dynasty Warriors that are just going like, it's Guan Yu! Oh my god! Shit's up! And I'm like flipping out as I'm naming the actual warriors, because the artwork actually for them kind of resembles the Dynasty Warriors artwork for them. So I'm just going, like, I'm flipping out left and right over this, and it's just like, I cannot wait for this.
Actually, it's wicked fun now. For Honor, I believe, is it a free weekend or something? Where you can download it and play it free.
Yep.
It started on Monday. It's a free week this week.
My boyfriend actually got it, and he just got the season pass literally while we were taking our break. My boyfriend just bought the season pass, and he's playing it right now with his friends. So if you hear him,
beautiful,
shouting and everything, he's playing his games.
So then they go to another one from last year, the Crew 2. They give it a release date of the 29th this month, June, with the beta going live on the 21st of June.
Yeah, the week before the game.
Yeah. So that's a hell of a way to make a beta, Ubisoft. Hell of a way. It shows a lot of freaking courage, enthusiasm. I
was going to say gumption.
Gumption. Yeah, you really believe in this game that much. And then we get to what I think was one of the biggest memes several years back, thanks to Twitter. At least in my opinion, that was one of the jokes with this one. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, or, insert Super Mario Odyssey, all those other jokes about it. But the biggest joke was that it's like, well, why can't I play as a female assassin?
Oh, God.
And they were like, you don't know how to animate women. You don't know. What the? Well, this game will let you play as a male or female main character. So there you go. They finally figured out how to animate women, apparently. And they showed a full gameplay sequence. They said it was a new way to interact with history. It's got the RPG-like progression that the last one had. Basically, again, they saw Breath of the Wild. They went, ooh.
Yep.
We've been doing it wrong all along.
Horse combat.
Isn't one of the super special things that a lot of people were getting excited over is you could marry a lot or have relations with you could have gay relations, I believe now.
Yeah.
You could also have actual relations that can interact with actual historical figures in full conversation. So I laughed because they had Socrates, and I was just like, hey, look, it's Socrates.
Yeah.
Socrates. It's Socrates.
So, that brings us to the end of Ubisoft.
But during the trailer, though, for Odyssey, they actually teased a Minotaur.
Yeah, that I thought was cool, that they threw a little bit of a fantasy element in there, too. Also, second, so we had Shigeru Miyamoto, and the dude is clearly a cinnamon bun, too, because he's just, he's the creator of Mario, for crying out loud. That man just does not seem to have a violent bone in his body. But then another cinnamon bun comes out on stage to thank everybody for being there. Yves Guillemot. I mean, say what you want about Ubisoft's games kind of being the same game every time of just a giant open world with radio towers. But Yves Guillemot just seems like he's genuinely in love with what he does as the head of the company, and loves every person who enjoys the games genuinely. You know, he doesn't. Ubisoft doesn't play games and do, even though they tried to patent the live services model of monetization, the type of gambling mentality. Even though they tried to freaking patent that, it seems like he himself doesn't have a single meat bone in his body as well. He's like E3's like friendly like grandpa. You know, so I love that he closed the show out for Ubisoft because, you know, and then they do what they normally do. They bring all the developers up on stage, and you know, it's just like that's really a good way to end a conference, in my opinion. Is you know, it's just like these guys made all this happen. Give them a round of applause too. Like, so scores for Ubisoft, 0 out of 10.
Go with a 7.
Yeah, 7 sounds good.
Yeah, I agree.
I also agree. 7.
That one's pretty easy to score.
You know, I mean, since we saw Square Enix that morning, like our hot take on it was actually an 8. So both me and Marissa agreed on an 8. Looking back on it, I still kind of feel it's an 8. Like, I feel maybe like if it was anything less, it would be a 7.5. Of course, I would be a little biased because I'm just like, oh my god, Starbucks! But
Yeah. Okay, now I'm taking over because the PC gaming one. Oh my god.
yeah, no, that one. I mean, come on, starting off with a giant mascot for Drake's Cakes.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, what the fuck is that? Like, you don't know what cakes are? You know, they make the bone? I mean, come on.
Jace, would you like to tell them what it clocked in at?
Oh god, well over 2 hours.
Oh Jesus!
There was 21 minutes of waiting, watching a recap before it even started.
Yeah. It clocked in about 2.5 hours.
Yeah. And the initial, my initial thought, just going into the show right away, is every game going to be a battle royale now?
All right, now let me break it down. 4 battle royale games and 3 sim games.
So there were over 30 games shown over the course of this.
Yep, and I have them all. First up is Satisfactory, a game where you set up set up factories that make stuff, and it's a co-op game.
Kind of picture a cross between a real-time strategy game like Warcraft meets SimCity.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was really cool. I like the artwork style. It's very unique. It's definitely something I'd like to pick up if I had, you know, not a 10-plus-year-old laptop.
All right, next is a game that I'm getting day one. It's called NeoCab.
By Chance Agency.
Yep, it's a cyberpunk conversation simulator taxi game.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, Marissa and I watched this, and we actually watched this replay. We watched it after the Sony conference, and we went, holy fuck, this even blows Sony out of the water.
Right.
We'll talk about that later. But, yeah, I mean, by far, that cyberpunk look, it's very aesthetic, very pleasing.
But just like that idea, a cyberpunk conversation taxi sim game, have any, like, I love the idea. It's never been done before. It looks cool. I say that now. Before the end of the show, they come up with another one. But next is Battle Royale Maverick Proving Grounds.
It was from Automaton Games. So it's a first-person game, unlike Fortnite and PUBG. With 1,000 concurrent players, supposedly, will be able to play this game.
50,000 players at once.
So I thought it was just 1,000 on a map at once, though.
No, 50,000 at once.
Those games will go on for fucking ever at that point.
You're going fucking ballsy here.
Ugh. Yeah. Well, you gotta have a gimmick because it's the new thing. You know, like, Puga was the first one, and then Fortnite came out and blew it out of the water because it looks like The Sims, and it's kind of, you know, fun-looking. It has an aesthetic, you know. And then I forgot the other company, the name of the game, but it kind of looked like Sunset Overdrive.
We don't talk about that game.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Sunset Overdrive?
No, not Sunset Overdrive. The game, it's a Puga Fortnite type game that looked like Sunset Overdrive and flopped miserably.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the damn.
You gotta
name,
have
but
a
I think I know
gimmick.
what you're talking about.
You gotta have a gimmick when you make these Puga games, and that's their gimmick is 50,000 people, apparently. A game that will never end, apparently.
All right, the next one is a game based on a mod that claims to be the only award-winning mod for its writing, but clearly they forgot about games like the Stanley Parable. They didn't tell us what they didn't even tell us what mod it's for, so we can't check out the cloud for it.
It's they won a Writers Guild award, actually, which is a television-based award, strangely, for this. It's from Modern Storyteller.
Yep, first-person puzzle game where you need to save everyone, bend the rules as much as you can, stop people from sinning before they turn to gold.
Yeah.
Huh.
This totally sounds like my jam, because I gotta tell you that I always like to try to save everyone if possible.
I'll send you the trailer. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's called Forgotten City.
I think this is going to be one of on my list for getting immediately.
Yeah. Next we got Star Control Origins
From Stardock Entertainment, which, if you know anything about them, they also make that little pop-up dock that makes your Windows look like a Mac. So,
however, this looks
gaming division.
Yeah. Best I can describe it is No Man's Shooter, No Man's Sky, but it's a shooter.
Yeah, I mean, if I got to compare it right here, I got a little bullet point here. It's a space exploration game. The animations are quite beautiful. They consider it an action RPG within quote-unquote infinite universe, with multiplayer ship versus ship fleet battles. The ship combat kind of reminded me, though, of Asteroids, like old school freaking arcade game type thing. It did look kind of cool. It comes out September 20th on GOG and Steam.
And next we got The Hunt Showdown.
This comes from Crytek.
Yep, a survival game in the swamplands.
Yeah, not much. It was more like just a short trailer.
Yeah, just a trailer.
It was my boyfriend actually played that the beta alpha. I don't remember which one it was. And a lot of people were complaining that it wasn't optimized very well. So here's to hoping that they, of course, they probably did all the data on that and optimized it out. But we watched him play, and it was like playing Pictionary, but he still did pretty well.
Oh.
He did pretty well for guessing, but he died to stupid monsters that didn't show up.
Wow. And next we got Archangel Hellfire, a VR mech game.
Yeah, no, and VR.
Yeah.
Comes out July 17th. You can buy it, but it's in early access, apparently. So, yeah. Buy it if you're gullible. And if you have VR, we know you're gullible. So.
Right. Next is a game that I'm definitely... Oh, God, yes. The Sinking City.
From Frogwares.
Yep. An open-world investigation first-person shooter with Cthulhu monsters.
Yep.
And you have a sanity meter like from Eternal Darkness.
Yep.
Sounds fun. That sounds fun.
Noir. It's done in the style of a noir meets gothic horror. So just try to picture that for a second, like a detective, like LA noir type story, but Lovecraftian, like that gothic horror type thing. The sanity mechanic's really cool. I love the fact because it's not done too much in games, and they said it's an open world with no hand holding. So this is a game that I'm probably going to play with Marissa because I'm bad at open worlds, and this game does not hold your hand. So It's not like, say, Xenoblade or even Breath of the Wild, where you kind of have to find things you can do. Like this, so I'm going to be going around and going, I have no clue what the fuck I'm doing.
All right.
So
then Sega comes out for Yakuza 0 for the PC.
Nice little scissor reel of Sega, the heart of Japan.
Yep. Hero Chronicles 4.
Yep.
The Killing Floor 2, more DLC.
Yep.
And then...
You missed Warframe from Digital Extreme.
Oh, yeah.
They said a new cinematic quest, The Sacrifice, was out that week.
And then we get my favorite game, which I've been like non-stop gushing about since I saw it.
Yeah, I know. Marissa and I love this too. Being huge RPG gamers.
Yes. The only thing that was missing was the song. The game.
Oh, Gus.
The game is called Meter.
She's
it's an open world RPG game where you play as a shark.
Yes.
I'm a shark. I'm a shark. Suck my dick. I'm a shark.
Oh, I've seen that too. Okay.
And I want this game as soon as it comes out on Steam because, oh my god! And you can actually level up the shark.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Then they showed off several games from the publisher named Untitled Publisher.
Yep, Bravery Network Online.
I don't quite remember much about that.
It's a turn-based. All right, it's a turn-based style fighter game where basically the fighters are like Pokemon, where they have like the commands in the corners, and you.
Oh yeah.
You give the fighters like the commands, and they do it. But all the fighters look like hipsters, and they have a move called Sparkle. It's someone just dabs, and the other player takes the damage.
Wow.
Yeah. Very hipsterish and very cartoonish. Then you get Morningstar. The farm simulator.
Oh yeah.
That thing.
Basically trying to be Stardew Valley.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get Jurassic World, the VR game.
Overwhelm.
Oh yeah.
Was after Morningstar.
Yep. Then you get Jurassic World Evolution, which is a VR game.
With Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
Yes. With me, Jeff Goldblum.
And
absolutely.
It's a VR game, but it's also Roller Coaster Tycoon, but with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then Stormland.
From Insomniac. It's a VR game.
Insomniac teamed with Facebook.
Yeah, because of Oculus.
Yep. It's an open world VR game. That's it.
Yep.
Fun.
Yeah. And then you get Night Call.
This one was pretty cool. This is from Raw Fury.
Yeah, it's a black and white, gritty, choice-based taxi game. Sound familiar?
Another game from Raw Fury.
No, but first you got a dude that comes out trying to sell us PC gaming monitor and gaming display trends.
Oh yeah, he was from what was it? Acer?
Yep.
I want to say.
Yeah.
So he was trying to sell the Predator line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then we get Genesis Alpha 1.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, you had Sable, the other Raw Fury game, before that. Open world, great art direction, kind of similar looking to like Eco and Journey. The artwork style, it looks like a hybrid between Tintin and Studio Ghibli, and the music in the game is being done by a group called Japanese Breakfast. So I would say look it up because
I love the name.
Yeah.
There's a
Star Citizen too.
There's a short on YouTube called Tokyo Breakfast, but
Oh God.
You've seen that, Jace? Have you gone fishing?
Yes.
Oh my god.
This going fishing.
I have a story about that later, Jace.
God. Yeah, no, we just rewatched that recently, like me and my friends, but
then we got
save it for another video. This podcast is like going on for so long.
Yeah.
well, that's why there's editing.
Then we get Don't Starve Hamlet DLC.
Yep. Plus, earlier they showed off Star Citizen.
So excited for the Don't Starve DLC, by the way.
We got more dungeons and a pig town.
Whoop whoop.
Pigtown.
Just Cause again. Walking Dead Overkill. First person.
Left for Walking Dead.
Yeah. First person.
Am I the
players.
only one waiting for Walking Dead to die? But
I think I'm getting there. I think I have one more season in me, and then I'm good.
Yeah, everyone seems to be kind of dragging it on kind of long.
Then
and then they're all like, "Oh my god, did you watch it?"
Then we get Walking Dead Telltale.
Yeah, the final season starts on August 14th.
With over-the-shoulder gameplay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Then we get Notia, which is really cool looking.
It's a strategy mining puzzle that's procedurally generated.
It's a pixel art action magic game.
And then we got our second technical difficulties of E3 and really bad camera work.
Yep.
So Gilligan must have been operating the camera.
Yep. Then we got 2 themed hospital games.
Oh, I want this one, actually. Boy, Hospital.
Then Hi-Rez Studios came out with Realm Battle Paladin. Battle game.
Realm Royale, a.k.a. Paladins Battle Royale Edition. So, basically, Overwatch knockoff, Fortnite knockoff edition.
Yeah.
Alpha.
Yeah. Then we get a game that a few people I know were looking forward to, Oblets.
Yeah, no, Marissa's looking forward to it now that she's seen it. We called it Pokemon Harvest Moon.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a fun little farming sim where you roll monsters and they dance.
A little bit of...
That sounds like Rune Factory a little bit.
Yeah.
Or like Monster Rancher. Monster Rancher, you guys remember that one?
I haven't heard of that one in a long time.
Yeah.
That takes me back.
I know, right?
Every single CD or DVD in my house and logging what monster it was.
You're welcome, nostalgia.
And then we get a game made by Cyanide and Happiness, Rapture Reject.
I can't wait. That right there is my favorite freaking battle royale game right now.
The trailer.
Oh my god, that sounds awesome.
It's a battle royale game where basically
it's symmetric.
Yeah. The trailer is a must see.
Yeah.
And then we end with Hitman Miami.
There was also Anno 1800 from Ubisoft.
I'd rather not talk about that game. Because that
yeah.
game looks painful.
City building, economic simulation, naval warfare. So yeah, if you like games like Romance of the Three Kingdoms and Nobunaga's Ambition, you'd like it. Otherwise...
Yep, and that was the PC conference. 2 hours.
So I gave it an 8 out of 10, personally. I mean, there was some cool stuff there. I'm glad they didn't harp on and on about hardware porn, showing computer parts and stuff like they did in previous years. Marissa gave it a 7 3/4.
I give it a 6, but that's only for Maneater. Because I want that game in my life right now.
I mean, there's Maneater, and then what the hell was the other one? The Cyberpunk Taxi Neocab.
Neocab, yeah. And the Sinking City.
Yeah, Sinking City. Yeah, that one definitely.
And now let's move over to the fun one, Sony.
Wow.
No.
Jesus.
Oh god. So
This
what the fuck, Sony? What the fuck?
I think this alone gave us so much to talk about.
Oh my god. Such a letdown.
Well,
I feel like that laughing explains all of it. That should just be our total review for it. It's just that.
Well, it had a strong beginning, in my opinion, until it suddenly had to go into intermission, which that alone made me laugh because I'm like, you just started the damn conference.
Well, the beginning was really good, and then you don't know what's going on.
They were trying to kind of recreate the magic that they did with God of War, where they had a full fucking orchestra playing the music to the game. Except this time around, and I half expected Hosier to Hosier to come out and start singing "Take Me to Church" because they're apparently in a tent decorated like a giant church.
Yep.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? We were all going, what the fuck?
And then a guy with a banjo comes out, and it's not Steve Martin.
And of course we're like, then we're all trying to guess what the hell is going on. We're like, maybe it's Deliverance, the game. Yeah, it could be that. So you got your pretty mouth.
Oh.
And then we get The Last of Us 2, which caused a brush fire.
Redneck.
Oh, because there were two girls kissing?
I see what you did there. Wasn't even a pun. No, but...
Oh, I see what you did there.
Ah.
It took me a minute.
Bad choice for words, though. But The Last of Us 2. And I never played the first one, but...
It was really good. I highly recommend that game.
I mean, and through that whole scene, I was like, I know that girl in the red dress from somewhere. I know that girl in the red dress from somewhere. And it's still bothering me, because I've either seen the person that they've mocapped or that person in an actual game or movie. It's still bothering me. But it's voiced by Laura Bailey, who's...
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's Toru Honda and Fruits Basket.
Thank you. But yeah, we got the Last of Us 2.
The crowd was confused as fuck after that.
Yeah.
It was polite applause and hoots. So woo! Yeah.
Yeah.
First part of the show. Woo!
Okay. And then after it's over, they proceed to gather up everyone in the audience to another arena. Meanwhile,
that confused. I'm like, what are you trying to do?
Yes.
Literally moved them from one tent to another while walking them through a little hallway that was themed after what the next room was going to be.
Yes.
And they were talking about PlayStation experiences, and all I'm thinking is, okay, so when the Wii U came out, Reggie took us to Nintendo Land, and then last year Bethesda took us to Bethesda Land. Is Sony taking us to Sony Land?
But and then you get Sid Schumann with 4 randos who they just ramble on as they try to get the audience moved back to the real theater, and for 10 minutes all they're doing is showing Call of Duty Black Ops 4 with pre-bonus orders.
And other things like Tetris VR and Destiny 2 Forsaken.
Yes.
Ooh.
An hour.
Yes, and
a half hour out of a hour and 10-minute presentation.
Yep, and then we get everyone back, which we go to Destiny 2 again.
Yep.
And then we have Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, before we even get Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
White dude dressed in traditional Japanese gear with the kasa and everything, and the tabi socks, all of it, playing the freaking shakuhachi, and I'm just like, what? Sony's a Japanese company. Why do we have a white dude dressed in traditional Japanese garb playing the traditional Japanese bamboo? Where the fuck did they get this guy from? Did they just the guy on the side of the street who's playing a flute and go, dude, can you play this?
And
awesome, wear this and get out in front of the stage.
And people lost their shit. The backlash of this is insane.
So that guy apparently is world famous for playing that instrument. So
he's like the only guy. And he's like the only guy to do that too.
Exactly.
I've seen a few other people do it actually. I think he's like the only white guy who does it that well. Because I watch, I follow NHK World on YouTube, and they got a series where they play contemporary music like rock songs and stuff like that on traditional Japanese instruments, the koto and the shakuhachi, which is really fucking cool, and from what I saw in those, there were Japanese people playing the shakuhachi. So I think he's more like the world-renowned white dude who plays the shakuhachi.
I think it's because, he's world-renowned. He does it, he does, concerts and stuff. He also teaches people, apparently. There's, probably a bunch of reasons why. And so that might be why they chose him. I mean, I get it,
Yeah, and people just lost it.
It seems to be something really silly to lose it over, because he, obviously appreciates the instrument. He plays it, as a job, it seems. It seems kind of silly to, lose your shit over that.
But then
E3, someone's going to lose their shit over at least one thing.
And then we actually get footage of Ghost of Tsushima, which looks phenomenal.
I thought it was kind of cool how they kind of hid the fact that the background is a loading zone by kind of leaving the clouds and everything looking like a sumi ink painting.
Yeah.
Bullet time sword play, so I guess you'd call it sword time. I guess gratuitous blood. It must be one, there was no heads-up display. So, I mean, it clearly wasn't actual gameplay. Two, it must be placeholder audio, too, because everybody sounded like George Takei.
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
Yeah, but I was still confused. And then they're like, Ghosts of Tsushima. I'm like, okay, rumor confirmed again. Sony probably has the most predictable freaking conference so far. And they start actually showing games. Oh my god!
Yes, and the first one is Dream.
Yeah, they actually show gameplay and stuff.
Yes, but actually during that concert as well, the audio was cutting out a lot.
Yep. So take a shot. Third time for technical difficulties. Third. Yeah. First the crane camera, then so third.
And then
third shot for technical difficulties.
Then after Ghost, we get Dream from Media Molecule.
I don't even remember that per se, because
that's where you had this group talking about this game where you actually create your own game and your own cutscenes.
See, the funny thing is I seem to remember them talking about that after the show, because Media Molecule was behind those weird little vignettes in between with random crap like the guy on the piano and the screaming celery and all that stuff.
Yeah. Then you get a really cool trailer called Control.
Yep. From Remedy 505 Games.
Yeah, who did Max Payne.
My personal favorite, Alan Wake. Yeah. I'm still pissed we're never getting a sequel to that damn game.
And Remedy works with Sony, and this is a Microsoft exclusive game.
Well.
Yoink! So, now they're working with Sony, apparently.
And
probably because they got fucked over by Microsoft so bad on Alan Wake and what the hell was it, Quantum Break?
Oh god, that game. Yeah, that's the game. It was supposed to be this innovative. It's a video game and a movie at the same time, and it was just a massive failure.
So fuck that shit. Give us Alan Wake 2. They fucking had a great little mini-series of live-action videos that tied in as a prequel. It was a fucking game and fucking good meta, and we'll never fucking get a sequel, and fuck Microsoft for fucking it up with Quantum Break.
But then we get the realest of the real shit.
Yeah, we get Rat Simulator.
Yes, we get the Rat Simulator. But then it becomes Resident Evil 2, the remake.
Saw that.
It's coming out January 20th.
4 days.
So I'm just really excited for that one.
Resident Evil 2, the remake, comes out 4 days before Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh boy.
You know what? If I have to choose, and I'm probably gonna have to. I'm gonna go with Resident Evil 2.
You think they might?
Well, at least that's a game you'll be able to beat in a reasonable amount of time.
At least I also know what the hell's going on.
But, but with that remake, Capcom is just on top of things. They have a new game engine. They got Monster Hunter, the new Devil May Cry, Mega Man 11 in October.
Fun part about that too. Mighty Number 9 hadn't failed so miserably, then we would never see Mega Man again. So thank you, Mighty Number 9, for sucking.
And then we go over to a guy in a bathtub.
Hey everybody, I'm the bathtub guy, and I'm here to play this game here. And then the TV falls, and it's oh my gosh! Something went on. Yeah, because that's the number for emergency in this weird universe that we live in. It's an alternate universe. So
it's
Trover's the universe.
A nice little Rick and Morty video game.
Yep.
So it's actually from Justin Roiland and his little team that did virtual reality. And Justin Roiland's personal studio is called Squanch Games.
Yes.
So you could tell it was in the Rick and Morty universe immediately, but then like the artwork style and at first you're going like, oh great, another VR game. No, this is going to be both VR and a regular traditional game, which I think is cool because you know what, is played out as Rick and Morty's gotten. I mean, I do got a lot of respect for Justin Roiland and his talent to improvise.
No, him alone, I really want to play this game just because, like, that man makes me laugh. I love his writing, his characters, everything. Like, the fact that he could just, like, go into random conversations like that is just amazing.
Especially just talking with himself. Like, that's what gets me. Like, bathtub guy and the guy who had eyeballs on his eyeballs or whatever the fuck that guy was.
That's what I mean. Like, he could literally just talk to himself, and it's entertaining.
Yep. Yeah. And then we go into the full explanation for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep, complete with Kingdom Hearts 3 Black Flag.
Yep. After that, we get you put things up and you pick things up and put them down. You go to your house, collect groceries, all in one trip simulator, also known as Death Stranding.
It's Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus. And nobody knows what this game is about still. Like, even interviews with Kojima, and people are still like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking. Like, I think the one person who might have figured it out roughly is again, on YouTube, Yong Ya, because he's just obsessed over every trailer and every last detail and every little analogy that's been done. And every time you think you understand it, Kojima puts out another trailer, and you're still like, what the fuck was... I mean, like, you're a glorified delivery man? I guess you're Philip J. Fry?
Yes.
It's in this game. And there's all sorts of weird fetal imagery, because you have those weird, like, black shadow things hanging from cords, and like, so don't touch the thing, you know what happens, it will leave a crater behind, and naked Norman Reedus, which, of course, you know... Both Marissa and my friend Beth were drooling over it, and I was like, I didn't realize that was your type of thing, Beth. Like, you know, normally she's the Fujoshi type. She likes her, you know, Bishonen, friggin', you know, garbage games. And instead, she's like, oh, that's alongside my girlfriend. I'm like, okay, this is just weird out of nowhere. Like, comfortable. I mean, like... And again, like, we see gameplay, but there's no heads-up display, so you can't really call it gameplay.
And then we get the other ninja game, Noir 2. Neo 2. Thank you.
Yep. Neo 2, or as other people call it, Samurai Dark Souls, despite the fact that now there literally is a Samurai Dark Souls coming out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and after that, we get the final trailer, which is Spider-Man.
Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, but it takes place in the raft, and you fight Electro, Mr. Negative,
Scorpion, Rhino.
Basically the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing.
I would like to point out that the voice of Electro, which made me happy, is voiced by Josh Keaton, who voiced Spider-Man in The Spectacular Spider-Man, so that made me smile.
I would like to point out that Spider-Man is being voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, who's like in everything ever. So, looking forward to Yuri Lowenthal's Spider-Man simulator.
Works.
Yeah. There's polite applause again, just after everything else that's happened on this Sony. A lot of woo, golf claps and everybody was like, the fuck was this? They didn't call it a press conference. They called it the Sony Experience, and after the fact, they showed off another VR game. This one from Software and Japan Studio, the guys behind Eco and Last Guardian, and the people presenting it, the people at the Sony desk, even admitted they don't know anything about that game. I'm like, you're just showing a trailer for something you don't know anything about.
We are very excited for Death Stranding. What's it about? The fuck are you talking about? That's pretty much what I get from this.
About 2 games they don't know anything about: Deracine and Death Stranding. So I mean, Sony by far just kind of. I get a fucking headache thinking about this. How can you have such a good fucking show last year and then just get cocky and go Microsoft is nothing, teraflops, we got this in the bag, and then Microsoft's we're all about games this year, 50 games, world exclusive. It's we have Kojima and Spider-Man.
And yes, and then the other news that came out of the Sony conference, the studio head of Shadow of the Tomb Raider accused the animation team of The Last of Us Part 2 demo of being fake.
Yeah.
Ha.
Oh shit! That's what E3 is every year.
The final gameplay we always see E3 is never going to be the same thing when we get the actual game.
It's always pre-coordinated, even if they're playing it live. The in-game chatter is always pre-scripted, even if they're playing it live. They're not showing it on the actual game's hardware. They're showing it on the freaking PC hardware that they're developing it on. E3 is just a giant freaking, it's a giant dick-waving competition of things that haven't come out yet.
And then Sony blocked... Oh, no, we could talk about that in Nintendo, about Sony blocking Fortnite.
Oh, God. No, they did the same thing with Rocket League, but a hell of a lot worse with Fortnite. But again, we'll talk about that in a little bit with Nintendo. Scorecard, everybody. 0 to 10.
7.5.
Wow.
I was...
7.5.
That's actually that was gonna be my score, was 7 out of 10. Just I love this. I love the games in the show. I'm excited for Resident Evil 2 remake, Spider-Man. I've already gotten pre-ordered, but presentation wise, they could have done a little better.
So Marissa and I were so pissed off and disappointed by the whole PlayStation experience that the games were mind-blowingly good. And again, Ghost of Tsushima, if I knew a little bit more about it, yeah, I'd really want to play that. That looks really cool. Stylized and all that shit. I like it. Spider-Man looks kind of interesting. Yeah, it's open world and I get bored of those really easily. But it is Spider-Man. As long as it doesn't have the ridiculous difficulty ramp at the end like the Arkham games, could be cool. I mean, but overall, the way I felt after the whole damn thing, 0.5.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what I did at the very beginning summed up my feelings on it perfectly. So yeah, we're gonna wrap things up. We're in the final press here. We're here at the Nintendo Direct at E3 2018.
I think you mean the Smash directive. This is literally, here's Nintendo. Here's some of them. Okay, here's some couple games. Here's the Pokemon trailer we showed before. Hey, let's talk about Smash, and let's talk about every single fucking character that we worked on. All of them. Yeah. Even, we know you know about them, but let me tell you about them again in slow, painfully detail.
Let me tell you about how they have different voices.
Let me tell you about Mario's cap.
Wait, guys. So apparently, this is going to be something that everyone's going to freak out over. David Hayter is going to be voicing Snake in it, and I've already heard a bunch of people geeking out, literally jizzing their pants, getting so worked up over just David Hayter.
I jizzed just for the fact that Snake is back in the game because that was my favorite Smash character.
Yep, and they gave Samus a boob reduction, and they gave Snake a butt reduction.
And they gave Waluigi a complete reduction. He's not in it, even though they said all characters.
Him and Dr. Wright from Sim City.
Yep, so what a lot of people are saying is it might be DLC or surprise unlockable.
I'm sure
surprise unlockables was cool. I mean, the original game, the way it played out, the surprise unlockables was really cool. It seems like the way they're going to play it out this time around is
character popping out. That'd be kind of cool.
I still like the challenger approaching silhouette. I feel like that's a tradition that they should keep. So yeah, they spent a fuck ton of time on Smash, and that disappointed me because
we didn't get Geno. We did not get Geno. If there was ever a game that Geno needed to be a part of, it's this.
Actually, for the YouTube video, you totally need to put in that friggin' bird comic where it's let's talk about this, and all of a sudden it goes Smash.
Yeah, I saw that.
That should be the caption for this one.
So let's run down what happened before Smash. So all the stuff that because I swear they should have just done Smash as a separate direct. They should have fucking put time aside and actually, because they were 45 minutes, and I'm thinking I'm gonna see a lot of cool shit, and then you find out under the radar that Yoshi got delayed, and it's just so we start off with a trailer away for Demon Ex Machina, which is I want to say it's Front Mission?
Which originally I thought when I first saw the trailer, I thought it was a game about the TV show Zoids.
But, yeah, I mean, the trailer for that looked really cool. They said 2019. I was like, all right. Then we got we got Xenoblade 2, a DLC preview. It's coming out in September. It's actually going to be a full prequel story. And at least Shulk and Fiora are part of a challenge mode thing added to it as well that are unlockable. Then we finally get to see Reggie.
Yes, Papa.
By Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu TV, which we've already seen, but they explain a little bit more about the Pokeball Plus.
That's good.
Eevee.
Mew. It's going to come with Mew.
It's got a built-in joystick into the Pokeball Switch button, whatever the hell you want to call it. And yeah, they come with Mew.
I didn't even know that before it got pre-ordered.
And the bundle will get you the Pokeball with the game is $100. And then this one came out of left field, and I got hyped because they did away with the crappy formula of the past two games. Super Mario Party, which will you play with it'll have new mini games, new ways to play. You'll be able to play mini games online against friends, which is cool. Kind of wish you could keep boards on. Comes out October 5th. Spring 2019. I think it's fucking gorgeous, but I know that there's going to be a lot of polish put on it. Fire Emblem, Game of Thrones. I mean, Fire Emblem, Three Houses. The fighting in the game, the squads attacking each other, give it this pseudo RTS feel. Being able to walk around the main character is kind of unique for the series. Then they announced that Fortnite was free and out today on Tuesday, the 12th, which, fucking, yeah, just everybody went out of their way, like, to download that game, just like they did with Fallout. And, because when you say free, you go, I like free. and here's free? The thing. So, I'm sorry. It's a bit of allergy here. PlayStation does not like crossplay. They've done this before. They've blocked crossplay with the Xbox in past titles. And Rocket League was kind of a big deal because it's like, PC, Xbox, Switch. And Sony's like, oh, no. It's, not in my house. And so Sony is just like, no, you can't play with other people. You only play with PlayStation. Fuck everybody else. We're the only place to play.
You know what makes me laugh is the fact that Sony has the balls to do that is I remember when Microsoft, back when they first announced the Xbox One, they had made this deal where it's like you can't play used games or you can't really share it with someone. You have to buy it, or they did that whole thing. And Sony made fun of them going, this is how we play game, how we share games. Thanks. It's like, hey, Sony, where's that sharing game thing, huh?
Apparently that was just a little improv thing that they did backstage because they had a camera and they just thought of it on the spot and were like, so they recorded it and they're like, play that. So, which is one of the funnier E3 stories. But here's the kicker: not only is it cross-play disabled, but if you played Fortnite on your PS4, you cannot use the same account to play on your Switch. You are barred from connecting the Switch to your Epic account along with a PlayStation account, and vice versa. If you have a PlayStation account and you want to connect a Switch account to your Epic account, you can't.
Wow.
That is how like spiteful Sony is over freaking Nintendo.
Wow. All right.
That's Nintendo and Fortnite and Sony in a nutshell there. Then we get to an indies, their indies thing real. Overcooked 2 coming out on August 7th. Killer Queen Black coming out this year.
Killer Queen! Bites the dust.
The first time that this game is being played outside of, I forget if it was PC or arcade or whatever. Hollow Knight was announced as coming out that day. June 12th. Really cool looking Metroidvania game. I really want to get my hands on that. They announced that a brand new Octopath Traveler game or demo was available that day as well. Of course, the game coming out July 13th, like we said in the Square Enix thing. The demo, you can actually carry your data over. It's a timed demo. So,
that's awesome.
So, I mean, like, you can only play for several hours, but all that data carries over. Then they went to another sizzle reel, showing off Arena of Valor, which appears to be a MOBA game, Minecraft, Pixarks or something like that, Ball Fighters. So that was confirmed. Cat and Toad, which we already knew about. Crash, we already knew about. Something called Ninjas, FIFA, Wasteland 2, Paladins, which is already available if you want to pay $30. You get literally everything as it comes out on top of it all. It's like the early adopters or patrons special or whatever. Fallout Shelter, which was announced the previous day or a couple days ago. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate was announced. The World Ends With You.
Yes.
And they ended on Mario Tennis Aces, which had literally just come out.
I love The World Ends With You. That was...
We all do.
I think that was like I feel like that's like a hidden gem.
Yeah. Although
who didn't love it? That's the main question.
If you love that game, you'd also love the Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor games, which are pretty much
good.
Shin Megami Tensei: The World Ends With You.
Pretty much.
And then here comes the part that has me going, why, Nintendo, why? Enjoy this game, but come on! Smash Brothers Ultimate. And in my opinion, I think this is the very last one.
Oh, it is.
I think
We say that now.
No. Sakurai looks extremely freaking sickly. I mean, the joke has been for years. Every time, behind the scenes, he literally is like, I'm killing myself over this game. You love this game. I'm killing myself to give it to you. So there's no more.
Is that what he's doing in Morse code every time he's blinking his eyes going, Nintendo won't let me go home?
There's this story of him having like his arms like freaking all bandaged up and like in casts due to some sort of like wrist and like finger problem, and still somehow test playing the game. And I'm just like, if this dude is going through this much trouble, why? And I mean, like, he took stage for the Smash Brothers tournament. Like at first in the video, like during the it's like, it doesn't look too well. Then we see him on, I'm going like, holy fuck, this dude looks...
He's dying.
I mean, I hate to freaking make that joke, but I mean, like, he looks like a stick figure. You can see it in his face, like, you can see it in his neck, like, the dude is not, like, I swear, if they pick another Smash Brothers game,
he's gonna look like Mr. Game & Watch. He's just
like die, like during the making of the game or some shit. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I mean, it's Ultimate, and they go over the fighter roster and they hit you with the big news. Every fighter, every game. Even if they were one-shots or DLC, so your guests are back, your one-shots like Pichu are back, so even the characters you don't care about are back, and they run down through all the characters, and they put little epsilons next to a few of them, the palette swap characters. So you have Deej Epsilon, you have Lucina Epsilon, you have...
They're called Echoes, not clones, Echoes.
They're not palette swaps.
They're Echoes.
So, yeah.
Sure.
Right. You're not being lazy at all there, Sakurai. And they...
You know what? I'm willing to give him a break considering he's dying for us.
Pretty much. So Sakurai died for your sins, Smash Brothers fans, okay?
Move over, Optimus Prime. Sakurai's my new lord.
Are you happy, all you Melee-obsessed losers who freaking have to play on a GameCube controller no matter what? Like,
yes.
Are you finally happy? You're gonna kill the man! Jesus! So, we mentioned earlier, constantly unlocking characters.
This might be our angriest part of the conference. You're killing him! He's already dead.
So, well, I warned you that, from the TV Tropes mental page, this would be my Neutral Milk Hotel moment, just fucking shouting about this, because it did not deserve to be part of the freaking E3 presentation, and they fucking stuck shit like Minecraft, which is a moneymaker in and of itself because fucking kids love Minecraft, or, Paladins, which was going to be free to play later this summer, another big one that they could have promoted, anything. Dragon Ball FighterZ was a huge freaking deal, and the Switch wasn't supposed to get it, and the Switch is getting it. These things should have had several minutes at least dedicated to them, or an actual full trailer, not a sequel reel. 20, 25, almost a half hour talking about Smash.
But that was Nintendo. I think they really, wow. This is the first Nintendo conference I've actually cared about in years, since I haven't been a Nintendo fan for ages. I gave up on them a while back, but after this E3, I may actually finally buy something from Nintendo. I might finally break down and buy a Switch.
Same.
Please do.
I mean, I can tell you right now, I bought it day one, and I was never, I look back, I haven't been disappointed. So many freaking good games, so many
Same.
on old games, but I feel like Nintendo got so cocky from a jam-packed year one that gave us fucking, even if it was a port, gave us, Mario Kart, plus a brand new Zelda, plus a brand new Mario, plus Splatoon 2, they just kept on heavy hitting almost every month, to the point where you go stop, my wallet can't take anymore.
Plus they have a retro arcade kit for the Switch, which basically made me want to pre-order it. And if you guys want to pre-order it, you can use the link we have for Amazon to get a free deal.
The first year was so jam-packed that I feel like they went into this year's E3. They were so fucking cocky with how they literally outsold the Wii U in 9 months that they fucking just went, let's just show Smash off and it'll fucking sell more. To me, that's not Nintendo.
No, it's understandable.
Jim Sterling calls himself the world's only living Nintendo fan. I could out Nintendo him any day of the week. I can assure anybody that. And for me, it was a 6 out of 10.
For me, it was an 8, just because I haven't been a Nintendo fan for 5 or 6 years, and this brought me back.
I've been a huge Nintendo fan for the longest time. I absolutely love my Switch, but I was very underwhelmed by the presentation. I give it a 5 out of 10.
Okay, I think that will wrap it up for us.
I think we are more than exhausted.
Yeah.
From holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason we called it the E3 Hangover.
Oh, we didn't attend the event. Could you imagine if we had press passes and could afford to go out to California and fucking go conference to press conference, starting on Thursday, and then go through the whole fucking convention? You're literally fucking doing shit from Saturday to Thursday. How fucking excited we would be if we actually...
No. Wait, it's just like having a con high. You'd go to it, you'd be so excited, you'd have all that energy, and it'd just be like a convention, and then, the next few days, you'd just be dead.
Yeah.
Next few days, I'd be like, fuck Sony, fuck all of them all, I don't care about games, I just go to bed.
It would be worse, we would be dead and jet-lagged.
Yep, that's true.
So, Jace, you and me would probably be... the day after Nintendo, you and me would probably be playing Bloodstained.
Oh, God. Actually, so thank you for reminding me. If you backed it on Kickstarter, folks, I believe it's starting the weekend of the 22nd, you will be able to download the E3 beta. So I'm pumped for that.
Same. But that will wrap it up for us. Deej, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DJ Longo Art, and I have a show on SuperFancom called Doodle This. I draw random funny stuff, and I do take requests. All you have to do is leave a comment on the videos.
Jace, where can people find you?
All sorts of social media. Crit hit Jace, just, fb.me, IMDb, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm going to start twitching on a regular basis, and not just from all the caffeine. I'm going to be streaming on a regular basis, clearing out my backlog, and doing some theme days as well. Maybe actually get better at Fortnite, play it every week. Do a Fortnite Friday. I'm definitely going to play Splatoon every Saturday because, pun, Splatter Day. So. Nice.
I can dig it. Ari, where can people find you, if any place?
Oh,
I think just the
nice.
blog that me and Meth created. I haven't really made any other social media.
Okay. Tiger, where can people find you, if any place?
I'm on Instagrams under Kira names. I have a Twitch and I have a DeviantArt. But I want to plug in my boyfriend Zachary Backus Illustrations because he does fantastic artwork. Check him on Instagram. He puts a sketch up every day, and he does anything from fan art to cosplay studies and just regular old art.
Very cool. And you can find me on Twitter at DefaultRick. You can find more of the show on Twitter at the SuperFancom. Also check us out on YouTube, Google Play, Buzzsprout, Stitcher, and sometimes on Twitch. You can find us also on Instagram, basically posting humorous stuff and memes. Contact the show at superfancomshow@gmail.com. That's for us for tonight. But that'll be it for tonight. Join us next time when our special guest will have Matt Myers of the Leech Tree Boys on. So check us out next time on Super Fancom. Good night.